children are about to go back to school, students are about to go back to school. What exactly have we prepared as parents, as stakeholders, as teachers? What have you prepared to, you know, handle these students and make sure that they are in line with what we want, sorry, with what we want our society to be? We are training these students to become better people, to become greater people, but it comes with a cost. There are stakeholders who deal with these students. We have matrons, we have people like the caterers, people like librarians who deal with these students when they're at school, but also other parents like neighbors in the community. What exactly is their role and how are they supposed to promote better parenting out there? To start us off the discussion and to take us through it is Dr. Hanifah Namara Sengendo, the CEO Stepping Stone Platform, but also a pediatrician by profession and a parenting coach. The right person in you know, these matters to take us through. She is also, of course, the proprietor of Kisasi College, and we are going to be discussing more about that after we welcome her. You're most welcome, Doctor.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yes, I'm not a visitor here as usual.
You're not a visitor.
Yes, yes, you have introduced me very well. And I know every parent now is like, you know, thinking about school at the different, you know, stages. Because we know they are those ones that are just beginning. The children are just beginning to enter baby class.
Yeah.
You know, that feeling is also another preparation.
Okay.
Because it's probably the first time the child is leaving to go and stay with other people.
By the way, yeah.
So that's pretty a different, you know, sort of, you know, preparation. And then we have those ones that are actually entering P1. You know, now the baby class setting is sort of different from those that are beginning P1. And then we have the middle primary. Remember, they are now semi-candidates, also they are candidates. And we go along that way, but also of critical note, as you know, we get the program going, is that we know that we have what we call CBC, you know, as a proprietor of Kisasi College School. We have what we call CBC, the competence-based curriculum. All students in all levels are under this curriculum. Okay. So that's also important because the different stakeholders around schools, even parents, should know that there are going to be some requirements that are sort of different from before, because this is totally a new curriculum. Okay. And then, of course, all schools do not have senior 5 because exams haven't come back for senior 5. Yeah. And then, of course, the S6 candidates are there. But of, you know, very importance is we have children who are now saying, I am in senior. Those that sat for P7. Do you remember that feeling? Oh, God, I remember that feeling. Okay. I thought I was too old, but only to get to school, and I'm the youngest. They are senior, the smallest. Hey. So all that should be put into context. Personally, I am saying that all individuals around our children, we should call them the other parent. And that's the hashtag I'm promoting. Okay. The other parent. Okay. Because like you can realize as a pediatrician, as a person who has studied the children, the way they grow scientifically, we totally appreciate that our children go through different transformational stages. I'll just give the most important 3 ones. From childhood to teenager. Yeah. That's a totally different brain, physical, thoughtful, where the child is changing. Here was a child, the baby. Now teenager, that is from 10 years. And by the way, they don't want to be called the babies. Oh. My son turned 10 last December. So we had some function and I'm like, I said the babies come this way. He started looking at me and was like this. And I'm like, you are not moving. He said, but Mommy, I am no longer a baby. I'm no longer a child. He wants to be called a teenager. Can you imagine? At 10 years. At 10 years. So all that feeling. So we should appreciate that children go through majorly 3 transformational stages. Childhood to teenagers, that's 10. Then from 10 to 19, those are the classical teenagers. And then whom we would call a young adult. Someone who has just attained the 18-year-old, you know. So all those different, there would be classical transformational changes in development. It means the brain wiring is also changing. Yeah. The thought process is changing. In a nursery, every child wants to be a doctor, a pilot, you know? And then when they are getting into whatever, like, you know, P7, they are starting to think, you know, I can be a, you know, different person. Then in S4, they are like, no one can be a teacher. The other day I was at a certain camp, and I asked different professions. We are trying to understand professions of children. So I asked them, how many want to be doctors? Almost half. Who wants to be a social media handler? Almost half. Then I said, who wants to be a teacher? They all laughed at me and said, Dr. Honey, we can't be teachers. But of course now, as they go on advancing, they do their combinations and they are destining themselves to be teachers. So all this requires preparation by people around our children.
Exactly.
Hence, I'm promoting what we call the other parent.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's a lot to do with the other parent. First of all, in the early years in Uganda, a child used to be raised by a community, not only the parents. Even the neighbors had something to say. The people around the community had something to say. But these days, when you're a neighbor and you talk about someone's child, the parent is going to come at you and say, "Why are you disturbing my child? Leave my child alone." How do we handle such issues?
Yes, I think it's becoming more complex because I will begin by saying that we totally appreciate that we live in what I call a VUCA world. A world, a nation that is volatile. A world that is uncertain. You can't know what is going to happen. Your neighbor, your maid can do something. You know, that uncertainty. The world is so complex. Things are happening and you are like, really? It really happened? You mean this person could do this? And then the agility, we are not sure. It is so agile anytime things change. So amidst that, dear viewers of our, you know, very exciting, you know, program, we have to appreciate that amidst all that, there are certain things that we now have to embrace. First of all, as we go into modernization, all our children are living within their own household. Either Chikomera, the fence, or it is the rentals, but the rentals are, you know, you stop here, you don't cross to the other side. Place. The apartment, you can only stop in your own apartment. Even in our villages, I was recently at my grandmother's, you know, ancestral home, and you can see everybody is trying now to say, oh no, this is, because that's now what is happening. But amidst that, and I should add quickly that in this era of technology and communication, we still have to embrace and adapt that it takes a village to raise a child. But why I'm talking about, why I'm saying adaptation is that probably we do not have to use the same methods, but we need that village. That's why, for example, I'll give an example that recently at my home village, Chanja, we are already in progress to collect all children around the village and we give them some parenting talk. And we give them some words of wisdom as villagers. So even if maybe I don't even know my neighbor or I don't want to, but let's look at this child. Eventually, instead of, you know, having LOC meetings talking about politics only, we shall say that let the LOCs have deliberate and intentional programs to ensure that every holiday, every village has a program for the village children, for the village parents, irrespective of class. Because now, you know, there is class.
Of course.
You know, you are passing, or you think they can't, you know, mix with your children, but those are the other parent. They are the ones that will come and jump over your fence and disturb your children. They are the ones when maybe your children who move in big cars, the car gets a problem, they'll come and snatch everything. So it is taking back us to Arnold saying that it takes a village to raise a child. Just that we shall adapt the way this village is raising our children. Recently, I had a parents' meeting, and the parents were also worried after the Senfuma story, I don't mind the controversy and whatever is surrounding this. And I was challenging teachers and that, yes, we appreciate that teachers must have that academic stamina. But teachers can no longer be groomed to be instructors in class. Why? Because we have to embrace raising a holistic child. The teacher should remember and should know what are these stages that this child is going through. If you are the type of teacher who looks at this girl who is a teenager and is looking so beautiful, and your eyes cross the skirt, they enter somewhere else, then you are just an instructor. You are not the other parent that we are promoting.
True.
Because as the parent, you should just appreciate that your child is growing and support them.
Yeah.
If you are the maid, you're the askari, the boda guy who is on stage, the driver, you know, who is taking these children to school, and you have been taking them to school, they have been young in nursery and whatever, and now that they have entered P7, they have body shaping, you know, the girl is looking so beautiful, the boy has started and you are looking at this child like, you know, this is a wife, this is another relationship. My dear, that's where your problems are coming from. So in raising these children as a village, we have to promote the campaign that I'm actually moving, and I'm happy that Family TV is launching this program, The Other Parent.
Wow, interesting. The Other Parent.
The Other Parent. You pushed, you produced this child, but we have what we call the Other Parent.
Very true.
And let's move this campaign together. That's why I really thank Church of Uganda Family TV that you are so thoughtful that you said, Dr. Hanifah, what can we promote? You as a certified parenting coach, what is missing? Let me tell you, Carol, you know very well that as we raise our children, somehow they get tired of us. Do you realize? Yeah. Do you remember how you used to say, mommy is back? Do you remember?
I'm paying for it now because I don't want to leave her side. Because of that, I used to hate her so much.
I know.
I realized it was just teenage food. I don't know what happens in there.
Yes, but you know also you have to, that's why we have programs where we are telling, call upon us so that we actually let teachers understand. Let matrons understand that as children go through these transformational stages, they change behavior. We need to support them, that as they are looking for the environment, they should be holding on to the correct environment, because for them the excitement, the brain is wiring. Yeah. You know how your server room looks like? Do you know? How does it look like?
It has a lot of wires, connections, just here.
Just here. So it is the same thing that is actually happening to the brain as the child changes from teen to young adult, because that's where most issues are. So those wiring, if you disconnect or wire wrongly,
and there's a lot the world is offering them too. So if we don't step in as parents, stakeholders, then they'll get carried away to
that's why I told you we are living in a VUCA world. You can't search about it. Okay. That VUCA-ness, the volatility, like anytime it's like the world is becoming vapor. That's why you see a teacher looks at Ernest one child as a wife. This maid looks at this boy as a husband, and then they start teaching them things. The children see the phones as their parent. Why? The parent is out. You've given all these gadgets, they are very important, they are playing the games, but amid this playing games, what are the children doing on those gadgets? And who should help them? Probably they don't even know how to help themselves. It is you around the child. Okay. And now that as parents, corporate parents, including myself, we are on 24/7 work commitments. You left home 6 to prepare for this show. Equal I did. My child, my 10-year-old boy, Sohan, I've left him with a house help, with a maid. So it is my role to find a way. Maybe my parents wouldn't leave home, but for me I have to leave home. This teacher who goes on matron, who is at school 24/7, but the heart is on her or his 10-year-old son. How are we helping him?
Okay.
Technology is coming in. So it is still taking a village to raise a child, but now we have what we are promoting as the other parent.
Okay, so in when you look at the other parent, we have matrons and wardens who spend a lot more time than you, the parent, because students spend about 3 months at school, and they just come home for a short holiday and run back to school. So some of these matrons, is there adequate training for them to know how to handle children, to know how to professionally deal with students and keep them in the right shape? Or do we have a problem where matrons also don't know what they are doing, and so they're just bumping onto things, doing things anyhow, and then we end up with a wrong society of children and students?
Okay, recently I did a study as I am CEO Stepping Stone platform.
Yes.
So we believe in raising a holistic child. So I was trying to come up with that campaign, the other parent, and I'm trying to segment time. Where do our children spend time? Let me tell you, we noted that 78% of the time our children are not with us. Because when you look, for example, first term is 3 months, second term is about 4 months, third term is also about 3 months. That's almost 10 months
At school.
at school. First term is on about 3 weeks, so 2.5 weeks of holiday. Second term equal almost the same. Those are just about 6-7 weeks. Third term is when we have 1.5 months almost. So it means that we, the biological parents, we only have just about 25 to 30% of the critical time that we should actually spend with our children. That's why, in my own capacity, and people like partners like Church of Uganda Family TV are holding my hand together to promote the other parent.
Okay.
Because the child is spending 78% of the time with the other parent. But you are asking a very critical question. Is the matron, who is actually going to be the first contact, leave alone the matron, the class teacher spends the most productive time with the child. Why? The children nowadays enter class at about 7 a.m. Go out at 10 for break, 10:30 just break time. So from 10:30 to about 1, they are with the class teacher. 1 to 2, just that's themselves. Then 2 to about 5, they are with the class teacher.
Almost the whole.
So do you see the class teacher's role? Almost 80% of the time the child is with the
class teacher.
Is the class teacher, apart from being an instructor of physics, chemistry, math, the other time, I don't remember who accused me that you are talking about on the sciences. I realize I'm doing the same. Apart from the history, the English and the literature, you know, are you not just an instructor, or you have got through a certain training that we are promoting right now, and we are the first people actually to promote this training for matrons and wardens, and then we shall do the teachers and other people and the administrators. But these first contacts, you know, are you trained enough into even understanding early childhood development? You are a nursery teacher. They drop their children. Some of us parents are so naive. You know, I have to be at work at 6. So I drop my child at 5 a.m. Yes. 5 a.m. the nursery teachers are there waiting to receive our babies. You know? So is this nursery teacher even well trained to understand early childhood development stages? So that when this child now is dozing at maybe 5:30, the teacher doesn't just beat the child. You are lazy, the child is just sleeping. The child is following nature.
Of course.
When this child susus in her, you know, panties, it is probably the stage You think when the child has come to school now is mature, and then you start choosing parents. Onomwana bamukuza bubi, is susuing in whatever the other.
And they beat
potty
them
training.
today.
Yes, potty training. The child has, you know, spoiled his panties. How do you handle that child so that the child knows that actually I can do this? I can ask to go to the toilet, or I can actually know that now I want to use the washroom. Maybe the child has been in pamper the whole time and has been doing his stuff there.
Yeah.
So these first contacts, you are the other parent. So they need to be trained. You are not just instructors of, you know, and that's what we are promoting as the other parent. Let me tell you, recently I had a child, when we were in the third term, we had a holiday haven for adolescents, and we were, you know, teaching them these holistic things, hard and soft skills. So a child came and disclosed to me and said, Dr. Hani, I can never forget my primary 4 teacher. That teacher made me hate math for the rest of my life. For the rest, until now, the child is at university. The teacher, yes, the teacher wanted the children to pass math. That was pretty fine. But did not have this other skill of how to help this child to navigate through the other complexities of, you know, growing up, to be able to understand mathematics. Up to now, he hates all math teachers. Even if they are doing homework and the assignment is about calculation, now he does economics. And he said, actually, I didn't know that in econ there is calculation. Neither did, well, I suspected, but for me, I didn't do econ, but of course. Can you imagine that the future of this child is being shaped in P4?
Yeah.
Well, as you are focusing at the university, what course are you doing? It begins. That's why we are talking about these developmental stages, childhood, nursery, as they go to teen age, as they go to become young adults, and then, you know. And by the way, before we even say the other child, some of us parents are not parents. Amidst the 24/7 commitment, you still have a role. You are the parent. The child is there. Yesterday we were receiving certain children at a certain school. The way the parent came with all the, you know, you see the face is so stressed. And
I don't know why they are stressed about their own children. So it's a burden for you to have a child at home.
Remember, the child was looking at the what? At the parent. Muninga is like, now, this one should be my first run too, but now you see the way she was throwing away things. What are the requirements? Oh, Babo.
Very sad.
So this is the same parent who is passing over the same attitude to the teacher. You mean the teachers who were at the receiving desk? Did she pass over her stress? Of course,
she passed over her stress.
Because she was already showing that she's failing. And now you are taking to the teachers whom are beginning to fail. Were you the parent? Because you are showing them so it's a hassle.
Of course, the teachers can't love your child more than you, the parent.
They can't. The only thing is that we should appreciate parents. We need to do our role. Because I keep saying this is a God-given role. God gave us this role. We cannot. For the teachers, they can change professions. But can you change the parenting profession?
Of course not.
And remember, in this case, parenting is not only even being biological. I'm sure you may have your siblings at home. You have your children. Now, recently, I had these grandchildren in my house. You know, over 10. They all are doctor. So this is God-given. Even if I was a teacher and I'm like, Ibanang, I am done with the teaching. I don't want to be near children. Now you are a grandma. You were doctor. How do you? So it means that we still have to go back to saying that it takes a village to raise
a child.
But let's adapt with adaptations.
Okay, there is a training you have specifically for matrons and wardens. What would you hope to achieve, and what are we going to see as a change in this particular department? My matrons at school, I don't have a good experience with them, because it's like also they were saying, mugende, you know, and I realized it's not just my school, but all schools, the professionalism is lacking. So in this training, do you hope to achieve any better for the matrons and wardens and people who take care of our children at school?
Yes, caretakers, because for example, in the lower sections, nursery, they are caretakers, you know. So we are actually saying that the first contacts that children trust, like you look at even in primary school, they are the ones who are teaching our children to wash, all these things. What we are saying is that I'm bringing this science that we studied, you know, with a lot of jargons and scientific language. And I am leading this campaign to tell these matrons and wardens, first of all, to understand the brain of a growing child.
Okay.
So that after that, they can appreciate why the child is behaving as such. If they get to know that, then they can know how to help.
Yeah.
So it's a whole curriculum, simplified, but trying to bring the sophisticated medicine into everyday life. You as a matron, are you able to look at this child and say, this child today is sleepy? She might have a problem. Because we have children who get so stressed. You know, recently, you know, we have a parents platform, Other Stepping Stone, and a parent posted, first of all, there is that boy who burned himself. Did you see that boy?
I saw in news.
In news, the boy started wrong, didn't score what he wanted, and then burnt himself. But this is not the first time this is happening. Even last year, a child killed himself because the mother could not afford a geometry set of 7K. Nkasanvo. Recently, another child killed herself that they were not really, you know, at par with the parents.
The parents, they don't
Recently, the same story. With due respect, I don't want to know. But of course, there are so many same
but we are
stories.
supposed to talk about it, Dr. Hanifah. We are supposed to talk about these issues because they are happening.
They are really happening. No, we are not. Yeah, they are really happening. You know? So, all these things are happening around. That's why I began with all individuals around our children. You are the other parent.
Yeah.
And we are beginning with the warden and the matron. Because even at the receiving desk, who is that person who is checking? How many pads do you have?
The
Colgate. Do they just throw the Colgate? Then they say, what type of toothpaste have you brought? I've brought this one. Because that is wrong. What type of rim have you brought?
We need this one.
The child is already entering an environment. Well, yes, you have to respect, but respect and fear are totally two different things. Yes, the children should respect you, matrons and wardens. They shouldn't fear you.
Yes.
So we are telling the wardens and matron, going through your job description, your roles, first appreciate that this child is growing. Understand the brain. The brain goes with behavior. Behavior goes with the relationship. You get where we are coming from?
Yeah.
And that relationship will eventually let you help this child be raised in a more holistic way.
All right, we are with the Dr. Hanifah Namara Sengendo, the proprietor for Kisasi College, but also CEO Stepping Stone platform, helping with children in a professional way to make them better adults, but also create environments that are very safe for them to grow into very good, responsible citizens of Uganda. We are taking a very short break and returning with more. Don't go away. We are powered by Protea Hotel by Marriott and Tebe.
Issues at hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott and Tebe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
abantu webafa babeera
When people
balungi
die, they are good.
abadde mulungi
A dead body is always good.
atukoze bulungi
He has done us good.
tazikawo
We cannot replace
tewali
him.
atazikawo
There's no one who is replaceable.
tewali
There's no one.
naye kiyinza okuyamba
But what can help you?
kwe kukola omukulula
It
omulungi
is to leave a good legacy
nti bali kujjukira
that people will remember you.
Sometimes I share with my students a small story of an animal which normally is regarded to be the wisest, the hare. Once in a meeting of animals chaired by the lion, which was the king of the animals, he said that all those who are in the meeting and are not married should go out. This is for the marrieds. And then the hare put up a hand. I have a question, Mr. Chairman. Yes. What is it? He said, what about some of us who sleep like married people? Should we also go?
And may I say to those of you who are not yet married, determine what kind of family you want to raise. Because the family that you raise, the children that you get, you will either sink them or you will raise them up to be good citizens and good people in the church.
If you read Proverbs 16:1, they tell you that the plans of the heart belong to man, but the answer of the tongue is from the Lord.
Because we all need love. As long as we are humans, we need love. Now he says yes, but I'm praying that you will experience the greater love.
lady allow God, gentlemen allow God to use you despite your past. Now when you are able to show kindness, please show it. When you're able to show compassion, please do it. So let us share our faith, let us exhibit our faith, let us act our faith. Hope may seem crushed, may seem shattered, but one thing is sure, that the risen Lord Jesus Christ is alive.
This is Church of Uganda Family TV, enriching lives. Family TV, enriching lives. Family TV, enriching lives. This is Church of Uganda Family TV, enriching lives. Issues at hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
In the 15 minutes we have, we want to utilize Dr. Hanifah Namara Sengendo to the fullest and make sure that we go away with a very great package. But also remember, you can find her on her social media platforms and her telephone numbers that I will be sharing at the end of the show. Right about now, I'd like to start from the hashtag she's promoting, the other parent. You know that in a society there are many people who help raise a child. For example, the neighbors, the teachers, the matrons, and everybody else that they interact with, especially at school where they spend 80% of their time. Remember, we are powered by Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe, comfort and luxury at its best. For reservations, you can call the numbers on your screen. Now, of course, we are going to start from a very, very challenging topic that we have in our society, the topic of the sinful of this world, Dr. Hanifah. People who are supposed to be the other parent, but they are abusing that right. They are trying to encroach on young girls who are still growing. They want to spoil their future for them. They want to teach them things that they are not supposed to learn because they are not yet adults. How are we going to make sure that this challenge is mitigated in our society?
Yes. I like that you are bringing out this, that there are so many people who should actually be the other parent, but then they don't, you know, honor that opportunity. Because with the due respect, we appreciate that even children of these days, because of what we began with, that volatility, the complexity, the child can trick you. We are in schools, there are children whom you see talking to teachers and they are sort of advancing a romantic, you know, gesture. We are in schools and we see girls writing love letters to teachers. Girls writing love messages or letters to their fellow boys or classmates. Leaving alone this peer-to-peer. But with the due respect, if a girl is, you know, talking and, you know, having gestures that are you know, making you get turned on, why don't you behave as the other parent? That's why, for example, we say in schools, don't put yourself in, you must have a friendly relationship, but you must be careful. How come every time this particular girl wants this private consultation, and you also take this consultation to a private office? If it is private consultation, be in an open place. And for the girls, for us, what we advise at school, as I said, we have Chisas College School. We tell teachers, if a girl asks for private consultation, tell her to come with 2 of her friends. So that they are 3.
But why don't you sit in the compound at least?
Sit in the compound. Why are you in this particular office all the time? You know, I went for private consultation. They come with their papers. You as the other parent, you should actually, because you should have a 7th sense. The other sense that tells you that this might not be very normal. You know, the children are looking beautiful. They are putting on these skirts and, you know, butete, and they are looking nice. You know, they are growing up. They are at their utmost time of looking so handsome and very, very beautiful. And then you want always to have this relationship. You even reach to an extent of coming to my home without my notice, you know. Then you say that the girl tricked me. I mean, you must have the 7th sense.
You're older than the girl.
You are older than the child, but you should even be more intelligent. You should have a more 7th sense plus. Because we also teach children to have a 7th sense, but you as the other parent. So, it is a very, very harsh situation. That's why we are saying that as we talk about the other parent, our dear teachers, you are the other parent. You must have the 7th plus sense to make sure that you are not tricked if you say you are tricked. To make sure that you put a professional distance. My husband is a teacher, so he was telling me in teaching there is that professional distance and professional relationship, of course. Even for us doctors, you can't just enter a love affair with your patient. You know, the lady came to deliver and then you end up advancing romantic gestures and relationships. You know, that's professionalism. So what we are actually promoting, what I am promoting, and I really need a hand, we've started with the Church of Uganda Family TV, we are promoting the other parent. Because our children at home, they are with the maid, shamba boy, our siblings and whatever. Now they are going to school, the matrons and wardens, the first contacts. But even before our children, we hand them over. What about you, the parent? We need some one-to-one. You know, as we've been understanding our children, some of us are first-time parents, you know. We also have a first-time parent time. We shall talk about it. You are saying this child is just becoming a teenager. We need a one-to-one to talk to you professionally before even you send back the child. But also the child should understand their roles. You know, children of these days also can be funny. You know, it is my right. It is my right to do this. We tell them, how is it your right, but you remain irresponsible? That's what I tell them. We take them through steps of appreciating your rights, but then you remain responsible as a child. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And then for the parent, we are telling them that yes, children have rights. Parents have rights. And parents, you are the authority. Don't throw away that ball. Remember I said it's a God-given role. So we have different packages. This one-to-one package is to help the parent reconcile. We have conflicted. We have not understood our children, and the children are not understanding us.
Yeah.
You know? So we need that professional touch. And then when we are taking back the children, after we are groomed, we shall not be this parent who say, Babu, Babu. The children are there.
As if it's a burden.
As if it is a burden. And then now we have to help these matrons and wardens to become the other parent. To understand what their roles are. Because when they tell them, you know, discipline, how do you discipline? Does discipline meaning hating? Some of us parents give tips to wardens and matrons. With due respect, I don't know. Some schools allow it. Even if they don't allow it, probably it is normal to say, give extra care. Now, for you as a matron, when the parent does that, do you only now be on
one
only,
child?
That you know this child, or you even do exemptions. Some matrons give food, the teacher food,
exempt housework,
bag food. You only give this one, even if this one wrongs, you don't report to DC, to the disciplinary committee. Are you that type of warden or matron? So we are trying to look at their roles. And let them know that as you may have all the children at home, each of them has strength and each of them has weakness.
Yeah.
Each of them is powered. Like this program is powered by
Protea Hotel.
Each God powered children differently.
Yes.
And God powered us differently, you know. So we need to power the matrons and the wardens so that they know how to. We have to start somewhere. They will not know 100%. But let's bring all this medicine down to where our children spend most time. And then afterwards, we shall be handling class teachers. Like, you know, we went through how the class teachers spend almost 80% of our time with our children.
Yeah.
When you look at 8 hours of study, they spend about 6.5, 7 hours. So what is your role as a class teacher? Just to look at math, yes, English, or to look at this child with an eye that I can help you. With an extra professional eye that, you know, why are you so quiet today? Carol, Hanifah, you are so quiet. Something might have gone on. You know, children come and disclose to us how, you know, the parent conflicts are affecting them. We shall not maybe come to solve the parent conflict right away, but we need to help this child. And we also need to help you how to handle. We have different parenting things that have come up. Single parenting is at high level. There is now co-parenting. You know what that means?
It's also now becoming common by the way.
Yes, I am telling you, I'm in parenting. This 1 week the child is with the father. 1 week the child is with the mother. Then when the mother, then they say you can't go to the grandmother of the father's side. Then you know, so that child is torn apart. We help you as a parent. How do you let the child be stable amidst this? Because we may not solve your issues.
Okay.
And then other teachers, when you enter class, you know, when you enter class, how do you identify a child who may have a psychological problem? At a certain school, when we went to do medical examination, the child had self-harm. Was using the divider in the geometry set to cut herself, even around here. And trying to understand this child, the problem was coming from home. They went at school, I mean, no one was really helping. So the schools should be homes away from home.
Very interesting. Anyway, because of time, we are going to have to end the show. Before I let you say your last words, I would like to remind you that you can find Dr. Hanifah on her telephone contacts at 0772 750 708, but also on 0701 750 708. Again, 0772 750 708 and 0701 750 708. They're also on the social media platforms as Stepping Stone platform on X, on Facebook, and each and everywhere with the hashtag The Other Parent. Dr. Hanifah, say bye to the parents and the teachers and the students that are watching you out there.
Our dear viewers, this show has been so lively. I'm feeling so satisfied that Church of Uganda Family TV has honored and embraced the campaign of The Other Parent. We are beginning with the Matrons and the Wardens, and I'm sure they will continue supporting. When we now start talking about the teachers and the class teachers, they will still be on board. And as even we do the parenting programs, I know even from the church values and foundation, God gave this power of being a parent. It is a God-given role. I remain Dr. Hanifah Sengendo as a parenting coach, parenting enthusiast. Myself, I'm a mother, I'm a parent, I'm a judger like you saw, but I want to be a mother and a judger of the nation. Hence, The Other Parent hashtag. Thank you very much. Carol, it has been so nice.
Thank you so
I liked
much.
the way you conducted the program.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. My friend, Mr. Amos, send greetings to him and Adrian.
Definitely. I think he's even watching. Thank you so much to people like Dr. Hanifah Namara Sengendo. Really, we do not have enough words to appreciate you for doing this, for not just for your children at home, but also for the nation at large. I hope that you will go out and check the hashtag The Other Parent and also join the discussion, join the conversation. You can also ask her anything on social media. She will reply. Like I said, her numbers are 0772 750 708, 0701 750 708 for all your parenting problems, teaching, and of course, if you are an adult or a young child out there and you want somebody to talk to, Dr. Hanifah Sengendo is the right person. My name is Carol. Thank you so much for being a part of Issues at Hand, and until tomorrow, you will have yourself a lovely, lovely morning. We are powered by Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Thank you so much. Norman Conte in production, as well as Shama David and senior producers Edrin and the rest of the show crew. Thank you so much, and we will wish you a very, very good week as we end the month of January.
Issues at Hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.